So I just found out that I can read faster from right to left than I can from left to right. I've been reading all my life. And I've always practiced speed reading since I was like 22. I'm like in my 40s now. But yeah, I've practiced speed reading since I was 22. And it actually helped me with like sports and dexterity and like gaming and everything. It improved like everything about my like it improved everything. Jobs, everything. Speed reading. I highly recommend it. Just make it a game. Just try to like just when you're in a moving vehicle, just try to like shoot your like it's like taking shots with a gun at fast moving, rapid moving objects passing by. Trying to shoot as many things like what do you call it? Big game hunter. How you gotta try to shoot them in the neck or around the heart to stop them. Like you can get like headshots and stuff, but you want to recognize whether it's a buck or a doe, so that you don't lose points. So like you have to have like cognitive recognition. All right, and sometimes I guess like after a while it can become precognitive, just from repetition. But this is where I wanted to go with this conversation, is that in truth be told, Babylon reads from left to right, and the Most High had his people read from right to left. Hebrew is written from right to left. Now, the reason why I started this video and said I found out that I can read faster from right to left, because I noticed that when I was reading from left to right, I tried to speed read something just now, a document, and I was reading the document, but at the same time, I started feeling my body start to push off. Like my spiritual body started to like move with my eyes trying to speed read through the document. So I said, okay. So I tried to like calm it down so I could focus more. And I realized that my right eye wasn't moving, only my left eye was moving when I was reading from left to right. My right eye was focused on the right because I was always speed reading, right? So my right eye would focus at the period or the end of the line, in between the lines, and my left eye would scrape from left to right, and then down, and then check like a typewriter was. So like, what I realized is, I said, okay, let me get my right eye to move. So I started trying to move my right eye with my left eye back and forth. I was like, okay, well it's not proper, right? So I was just like, something was off. I was like, that's not the spirit. Something's not there. Something's not whole, right? So I was like, so then I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, I've been reading English so long in my life. Just words have been the most part of my life, for the most part, since I was like 22. Well, all of my life, but reading, just lines and lines. I was like, in English, something that I can read, I should be able to read it dyslexic, because I've been dyslexic. Like I understood that when I was like in the 5th grade, that I could read backwards and upside down perfectly. So then I was like, well, let me just speed read this from right to left, even though it's in English, which is supposed to be read from left to right. So I just started scanning real fast from right to left, and I was picking up the whole information. And I was like, wait a second. You mean to tell me this is like, it feels like one of those obvious moments where it's like, but it's still kind of like perplexing how if you put a shield in front of the mirror and then you look to the side, you can still see what's on the other side. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, all right, let me just put a governor up. That's what a shield is. It's a governor. That's what a governor is. It's a veil. Removing the veil would be removing the government, or the governor, I should say. I shouldn't say government, but the governor. Because when I think of a shield, when I think of a governor, I think of a car made in America, which is most cars outside of America, if I'm not mistaken, don't have governors on them. Only American cars, North American cars specifically, if I'm not mistaken, come with governors, which is, it limits the engine by putting in a plate that won't allow the car, each car's, I think it's a cam shield, a shield that stops the cams from reaching a certain, I don't know if it's a frequency or if it's a certain rotation or something like that. It's something that it stunts the cams, if I'm not mistaken. It's just a block, like a plate, and it just hammers into this plate that stops it from getting a full stroke, I suppose, limits the strokes or something like that. So you can't reach top speed in your car in America because the governor chip. There's a chip, but there's a plate. There's chips, yeah, but then there's plates. There's a physical plate. There's a software, and then there's physical hardware. Okay, the governor chip is hardware put in, but it's software. The governor plate is just, if you just remove that, because other cars don't come with it. For instance, a Mitsubishi, a Nissan Skyline is faster in Japan, same exact car, than it is in America. Same exact car. You wanna know why? Because they take out the whole dang engine. They can't even bring that engine over because it wasn't built with a governor chip or plate. My bad. It wasn't built with the governor plate. They can bring the car over, but they can bring the frame, but they can't bring the engine. They swap it out for like a Toyota engine or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, it makes it easier for the cops to catch you. So it's a handicap so that you are below the law, below low, so that you're nothing. You're not a factor. Okay, that's what it means. All men created equal in a way, I suppose. But yeah, that's the way I kind of look at how we read and what we know about knowledge, like what we know about our language. Like a firewall is a governor plate, a governor chip. A wall is a governor. It governs that land, a wall. Okay, so you can't go past that wall. Okay, so that's essentially what's in the engine. It's a wall. It hits a wall. Boom. You can't go any faster, even though it has the horsepower. No matter how much horsepower you put on it, you have to take out that plate, and then you are able to access the full potential. So, yeah. All right. That's the way that they play. It's like X-Men. They wanted to turn everybody normal. They put governor chips in them, if you want to call it that. The chip, if you want to call it that. It could be in reverse. It could be chaos. It could be hell on earth. It could be Totally in reverse. Total unleaded, but without control. It's like, okay, we'll take out the governorships, but now there's no brakes. Like, like it's that bad, it's hell, bad genie type stuff going on. So be careful what you wish for type stuff. You know what I mean? Or they'll wait till it gets like super, super, super packed on the roads. Then they'll take out the governorships, like Japan. That's why Japan has a fraction of America's population, but their accident rate matches, if not, is second place to America by far over any country. And their death rate damn near beats America in percentage. I looked it up last week because I was like, okay, if they don't have governorships in them cars, what does the death rate look like and the crash rate look like in Japan? So I looked it up and I looked at the world compared, and I was like, well, damn, America's got the governorships because it's got all the people. And look who was second. Another place without governorships, the green hell. What's green hell? That's called the Autobahn. Germany, Belgium. That they were third in line because they can drive without the governorship. They can go the Autobahn. You can drive that thing as fast as you can get it. That's why they take freaking Koenigsegg's and stuff out there and just open up. So yeah, like it's the Fast and Furious scene. Wherever Fast and Furious was, that's where you see death, the reaping from the roads. But yeah, that's in a way, numbers can be manipulated, okay? So I'm not gonna say, I put my faith in man. I put my faith in the truth and the spirit, the Aheb Ruach, the love of the spirit, of the understanding of the work of Yah. So just so I can tame the English, love the English. Tame is love, love is tame. In English, in Hebrew. It don't matter what you say in Hebrew. I mean, it doesn't matter what you say in English. English is subjective to Hebrew. That's why you spend all of your tax dollars over here in America and the UK and send it to Israel. Okay, because that's a Hebrew god of death. Okay, and that's why you worship death with the noose. The noose. You wrap it around headlines, line heads up, and then it's 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you roll it on around. Heads rolling around in the noose, burning hot topics. So many heads, just great balls of fire coming out the noose nowadays. Okay? So, I'm just letting you guys know, man, like, from a perspective, I just realized that, how people don't understand what words mean. You can't take the world serious. Like, they're serious as a heartbeat. They will kill you out there for total misunderstandings. You could be their best ally in what you would consider the definition of an ally, their best compadre, their best friend, but you, like a parent, get dusted out there by some possessed little demon kids. Demon crats. Okay. So, the point is, they're not supposed to be called kids in the first place. That's how you end up with demons. Kids are goats, all right? Goats have kids. Humans don't have kids. And I guess if you try to F a goat, you F around and find out you're not, I don't know. What is that, a kid? I don't know. Whatever. But that's what the scientists are trying to do. when you're unconscious. When you're asleep, they don't rest. Wicked never rests. Okay, so, and that's why they worship goat Lucy, and everything in the newsy is about the goats and the bulls and the bears and the dragons. Yeah, pretty much. It's all signs and symbols that rule the world. Those signs and symbols connect to what I was just talking about. Goats and bulls and dragons and angels and gods and demons and stuff like that. Titans. Those are their weapons. People are weapons. People are hostages. Hostages are weapons. Weapons of war. People is a host. A person is a host to a spirit. But if that spirit possesses you, you are a hostage. Especially if it's by a demon. You're a hostage. Okay? A host to a hostage. It's easy. It's like that. It takes age. Add age to host, and you got hostage. Okay? Age to host, you got hostage. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. It's like a mother with a child. From a host to a hostage. The most dangerous place for a black child in a mother's womb. The host becomes the hostage to them, and then they want to kill. Ain't that something? She's the host of the child, and she's like, oh, I'm a hostage, and I have my rights. And then the child suddenly, and the child in the belly getting destroyed is the symbol of Baphomet. Come on, man. Bro, that's the symbol of the bull. It's the symbol of the goat. Whether it's a male or female in there, it's going to get some serpents come up in there and devour them. Inside of the womb. That's the fire. Fire-licking serpents. The stroke at mid-noon type stuff. Like, how do we get there from the word? The word that we were talking about in the beginning is that I can read faster from right to left than I can from left to right. And I've been reading from left to right my entire life. And I just found that out. It's like discovering what your name means. Like, deep off in your life. Like, I learned out, I figured, so I've told this story before if you looked at my videos, that I didn't know what my name meant. And I realized that when you realize that, like, and then you combine it with, like, okay, I worship God and I worship Jesus and I worship, home and country and family and father and mother and patriot and this and that. And I'm like, what does these words, like, from the highest to the lowest mean when it comes to me? Like, I don't even know what my name means. So what are they calling on if the word is so important? What are they calling on? Who else is responding when my name is called? So then, because that's the case. When the word is spoken, there is a response in all dimensions, period. All realms respond. All right. So all languages respond. You either respond positively or negatively. It's understanding or misunderstanding. Not knowing, ignorance, totally not even knowing. Stuff like that. Hate, all that stuff, whatever. But the word is supposed to not be segregated. But the flesh is supposed to be segregated. The word is not supposed to be segregated. That is the omnipotence. Because everybody speaks in all these different flesh. That's what rules this flesh, is the word. Anyway, so I'm going to let you know something. Here we go. So check this out, man. You have the word is what these, if we're the tools of the word, because we are the host of the host. The word hosts our existence. Okay, first off, So let's just get that out the way. Period. If it was not for the word, there would be no today or tomorrow and no past. Period. Enough said. Okay. And the word is glorified in spoken speech and written on the visible. When it is manifested visibly, it is glorified. When it is manifested auditorily, it is glorified. The splendor of how many different realms it can manifest in, 2D, 3D, 5D. The devil can't dodge. The devil ain't D enough. The word is all up in that. All up on it. So like you said, it doesn't matter what the devil try to do. It D. What they say, DDTD. DDMTD. Doesn't matter what the devil try to do. DDMTD. Okay? DDMWTD. Okay. Doesn't matter what the devil try to do. DDMWTD. Okay? So all of these D's, it don't matter. Alright? Because the word is omnipotent. Is the wall of the wall. Okay? When the word says stop, the wall stops. The firmament stops. Did you understand that? Did you guys, y'all didn't pick that up? Look, fam, I'm gonna express some stuff with some visuals. I'm gonna show you the world, which tries to be like the word, because it happened in heaven, which is the word, and then it happened on earth, which is the world. Oh, why do they sound similar? Like Yah and Yashaya, Hayashara Haya and Yashaya, Mosheya. Come on now. Why is it all sounding similar? Isaiah. Why is it sounding Josiah? Why is it sounding similar? Why is all these sounding similar? Because it's splendid. That's why. Do you know what you're looking at right here, man? Do you even know what you're looking at on this screen? So you'd have to turn the screen sideways, tilt it to your left from the top, and you would see there's a Baphomet on screen, but there's a Behemoth on screen. Okay, so let me show you something. The word Baphomet the word Behemoth. Oops. Alright. So, when you're looking at the book of Job, okay, and it talks about a Baphomet, my bad, it talks about a Behemoth. Okay. Now, didn't I say, okay, there's these many different images we get of these. So Job talks about the Behemoth and the Leviathan. The book talks about that. Job. Okay, the book of Job. Alright. Now, the Leviathan is understood to be Satan and the dragon. Okay. That's three different things. Because it talks about Lucifer transforming himself into an angel of light. Then in order to challenge heaven, he transforms himself into a dragon to fight Michael. Mikahiah, one who is like Yah. Okay. One who is like Yah. Did not say is Yah. One who is like Yah. Okay. So, when I'm thinking of MacDonald and the Herd Islands being the tail of this bear Baphomet Behemoth, Mac, Don, okay, Donald World King, like World King, okay, like Most High, okay, Michael, Mikahiah, it ain't Michael, it's Mikahiah, because Haya is the name of the Most High. Ha, the Yah. Okay. The Yah. Okay. It says he, hey, ha, Yah. Okay. It's Ha Yah. So anyway, just letting you guys know. That's what you're looking at. North America is the behemoth. Okay. And everything else other than Africa and Australia is the Leviathan, or a mixture of the seed of Leviathan and Behemoth, where they were not supposed to be mixing. But that's the place where you see a bunch of those Greek and Roman gods and Hindu gods and all these Mesopotamian and all these gods popping up, and angels and whatever. People worship these things. And it was all in humanoid formish things and such, also serpent people and all that stuff. So what you have here is you have North America from Alaska right here with the right hand of the Baphomet lifted up, and then you have the left hand down here, boom, and then you see the little boy standing right there, right? And then you see the little girl standing right there, right? Let me show you something. Let me take you over to the earth and show you something about how there's a male and a female compartment to the Baphomet or the Behemoth. So over here, they try to say that this was like a mermaid from here, measure, to here. So they said this would be the tail right there where I'm putting the cursor at over there. So this area is the tail, and then they said this is like the body, and then this is the head, and this is like where Starbucks is at, Seattle and all that stuff, which is like what you have, like a siren or a mermaid, some type of little of Babylon type of a maid of Babylon, if you want to call that, in a way of not being vulgar. Okay, so you have a female. Babylon is confusion, made of confusion. Okay, confusion. Interesting. Then you have something that looks like the image of like a boy standing, a standing boy. Look how the Mississippi Valley goes from foot, where the Louisiana makes the boot of the foot of the boy, and then there's like this. I guess he's sort of naked. I don't know, but he's like, yeah, okay. And then he's got a head right here, and like maybe a crown or something. I don't know if something is there, but that's definitely foot, body, head, legs. Okay. Now, if you turn up your brightness on your screen, you see that there's a serpent over here, right in front of us. There's the eye of the serpent. There's the tongue coming out. The serpent, the green. That's the forehead right there. The serpent right there. The serpent has sort of like a crown on it, also. Now, the thing is, if you back up, like the serpent's jaw could be like opened up also, from like Havana. See how it's opened up, look like it's ready to devour and swallow the boy, the child, the Mesopotamians, about to get devoured. Okay, the cradle about to get devoured by the serpent. Okay, so that's why they say Tennessee. 10 is a dragon. Nessie means my banner. Banner. It means dragon's banner, or the banner of the dragon. And that's where you have Grand Masters, white dragons, and stuff like that, of KKK and temples of masonry all throughout this land. That could be Tartarian or Babylonian or something like that. But it's old serpent knowledge that I'm not familiar with. But I know everything in these jaws of this serpent right here is legion also. legions. That's why you got Mar-a-Lago, the War Legion, down there at the bottom. But you have Havana with the fangs, with the venom. Havana, the venom. Havana, the venom. Okay, Havana, venom. Okay, looks like the venom coming off of the syringe right here. Boom, boom. The venom, the hypodermic needle teeth of the serpent. Okay, that's what that would symbolize, sort of, kind of. Oh, I got 5%. Wow. Look at this thing hasn't cut off on me yet. 30 minutes and 30 seconds in. All right. Well, so yeah, man. I like just being able to read, like being interested in reading, reveals the world to you. You understand? Because the word is living. All right. And the word is supposed to be read from right to left. So how about we start walking with the word that way? All right, guys. Like I said, I found out I could read in English faster from right to left today. To the Rabbi Haishar Hai Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh, to the Rabbi Shai Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh, to the Rabbi Hebrew Akakmak Asaya Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh, Anami Amen. Ashar Yasharun, Anami Amen.